Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse. I'm your host, JamJam. This is the craziest to happen in running this week. This week's stories include Walmsley's golden ticket, Avery and Dave come together, and the sale of the Barkley? Applications just ended for the 2017 FKT grant program sponsored by Ultimate Direction. We apologize for not mentioning this last week, but 4 winners will be chosen, which will include $1,000 and a sweet gear pack from UD, GU, and La Sportiva. We're excited to follow along and see who wins. Stay tuned for coverage as the attempts get underway soon. Rickey Gates is now over a month into his transcontinental experience. After running through a couple of states, he was apparently stand-up paddleboarding for a while, and just now crossing the Mississippi River again on foot. He's got a nice ginger beard developing and continues to post some fun video updates. Here he is with some friends crossing into Arkansas.
Crossing the Mississippi River, leaving the east behind and moving on to the west. Got a bunch of good friends there. Say hi, guys. Hey. Helping me get across the river and onto a new state and a new part of the country, Arkansas and west of the Mississippi today.
Another weekend, another golden ticket race. It seems the Western States Board is just doling out these spots like candy. All eyes were on Jim Walmsley this weekend as he made his one and only attempt this year to qualify for a return ticket to Squaw in this year's Western States 100. His return will quite possibly be the biggest redemption run of all time, and the hype is real, folks. Here's a clip of Jim just before the start of the Gorge Waterfalls 100K, signaling his confidence going into this weekend's race. Once the race got underway, it was all Walmsley as he built up a solid lead. Play clips, Audio Jungle. Hey, Phil, Mike. His crew was in straight-up party mode during the race, seen with beers and apparently stripping down at an aid station mid-race.
Nice job, Jim.
Let's hope they take things a bit more seriously come Western States weekend. At the end, Walmsley punched his ticket and won by over an hour, with Ben Koss earning the other spot. In the women's race, Seven Hills running member Caitlin Gerbin won the race with a 20-minute margin. Gerbin improved upon her 9th place showing here last year and is a previous winner of the Pine to Palm 100 as well as the Squamish 50-50. Paige Patillo scooped up 2nd and will be running what looks to be her first 100-miler in June at Squaw. She has previously placed well at other Pacific Northwest Ultras, including a win at the Volcanic 50K and 3rd at White River 50 Mile. Stay tuned this weekend for the final race in the Ultra Golden Ticket Race Series at the 2017 Lake Sonoma 50. Yes, the only ticket race that won't count as a Western States qualifier. We'll be there covering in person. Who's got bigger balls than Jim Walmsley? Quite possibly Swede Elov Olsson, who continues to taunt the infamous Coconino cowboy on social media. This week he writes on his Instagram, "Congrats on your golden ticket, but you will not have time to change your shoes in June." Bold. This is shaping up to be one of the most fierce rivalries we've ever seen since Jim Howard and Jim King back in 1974. It'll be Jim and Chasing Jim in 2017. Elov, of course, punched his ticket back in February at Black Canyon. Our hearts go out to JamJams camera, who took a bad fall this weekend while filming clips at the Gorge. Hope you heal up in time for this weekend. We got work to do. After last week's firefight online, Dave Mackey and Avery Collins sat down in Boulder this weekend for a civil discussion surrounding Avery's use of marijuana while training for ultras. Nice to see these two men sit down for a chat about what exploded in a really negative way online, as things do. It really speaks to our sport that they can come together and find some common ground. If you haven't listened to it, do so over on Dispatch Radio. At the end of the day, Dave is a guy that passionately wants to keep the integrity of our sport and has been fighting for years to keep dopers out of trail and ultra running. He saw something that didn't add up and called it out. Avery is a dude that likes to smoke and eat marijuana. He also loves to run and is a talented competitor. It does get a little bit awkward when he openly promotes weed while also being sponsored by a couple of edible and medicinal marijuana companies, while also valuing what WADA standards exist. At face value, it seems quite contradictory. Avery discussed that he typically goes off marijuana 2 weeks before any race and will go 3 weeks prior to Western States. It seems he is living his life in the way he wants, while also staying true to the clean sport standards currently in existence of our sport. While I trust his word, the problem still exists that testing is scarce in our sport, and I'd bet money there are some ultra and trail runners using marijuana in competition. If you want to report any doping violations, just a reminder to use the Speak Up app launched by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Let's all keep this sport clean. The 100K National Road Champs took place at the Mad City 100K over the weekend. It was Carolyn Bowler with the win in 7:52, although a far cry from Camille Herron's course record of 7:26. Bowler was recently the subject of some online trolling via Trail Troll. Bowler is still without a shoe sponsor after she decided not to renew with the Nike Trail team. The troll, who might possibly be Bowler's agent, was trolling Wazelle online. Not sure an anonymous Twitter account is the best way to get a deal like that, but we do hope someone picks up Caroline soon. She continues to perform. For the men, it was Jesse Davis who ran away with the win in 7 hours, 6 minutes. Looking for the latest trends in ultra diets, Walmsley was spotted pouring wine and eating ice cream cones pre-race while scarfing face-sized donuts after his win. After Claire Gallagher's candy and tortilla chip cereal, we pretty much expect anything goes for the elites these days. It was reported by The Jizz on iRunFar that the Barkley has been sold to a joint venture by failed Barkley participants Jamil Curry and Gary Robbins. The duo are reportedly looking to increase the difficulty of the race since runners have won the past 9 out of 10 years. Curry was reported as saying, "Laz really lost his way and has become soft in his older years." Well, I agree, but we can't completely blame him. Surely the Barkley needs a win streak. My suggestion for the new owners? Make it a 6-loop course while sticking with the 60-hour time cutoff. We're rooting for you next year, Barkley course. The women's winner in the Rio Olympic Marathon, Kenyan Jemima Sumgong, was busted for EPO after failing a drug test. Okay guys, this is getting out of hand. Distance running is basically cycling now. Enjoy. The Beer Mile World Classic will be staged on the last day of the IAAF World Champs in London. This might draw some of the fastest runners in the world to give the Chug Fest a try, and records could go down. We're still putting out the offer for a real beer half marathon. Our good bud Skylar holds the record, and it's about time it gets some attention. An article in Trail Runner this week announces Nick Arciniaga is stepping up to ultras. The article claims he is the first 211 marathoner to turn ultra runner. Arciniaga will toe the line at this year's North Face 50 mile in December, which is one of the most competitive US ultras of the year. He also mentioned he'd like to do Western States or Leadville one day. While it isn't exactly true about him being the first 211 marathoner to go ultra, as some Comrades competitors are sub 210 guys, it will certainly be fun to see where he stacks up. As already being claimed by the Coconino Cowboys and living in Flagstaff, it sounds like he'll be in good company. Tune in to the Boston Marathon next week as the Ultra Bros of Tommy Rivers and Jacob Puzey will face off in the iconic race. Rivers has been dropping his marathon PR like it's hot, while Jacob went sub 5 hours at 50 miles on a treadmill recently. Come on boys, let's see those Olympic trials standards. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. If you have crazy stories to share, or if you know of more trending ultra diets, tweet us at Mountain Outpost. Have a shitty week. That's a wrap.